Hey, Mark here. I just want to give you a quick heads up. So while we were recording this episode, we had some slight technical difficulties. However, I spent a long time working on it. I think it sounds the best it's going to get, and I think it sounds good, but I also don't think it sounds great. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. So if you're listening to it, you're not kind of wondering about the sound levels here. But overall, we recorded this episode for Friday the 13th. It's a fun final fight. It's about Chris Higgins and Friday the 13th, part 3. She's a beast. She wipes the floor with Jason Voorhees, and it's wonderful. I just want to give you a quick heads up, though. There are slight technical difficulties. The sound is a little uneven in points, but this is A+. It's a lot of fun. We had a great time. And also, we just wanted to celebrate Chris Higgins on Friday the 13th. Thank you. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is currently hiding up inside of a tall barn. It's David Cross.
What's going on? It's really hot up here and itchy. That's the thing they don't talk about in these movies.
Yeah.
Hay itches. Hay's uncomfortable. No one wants to take a roll in the hay. I'm just going to say it.
No one's ever been scratched by hay. So, yeah,
No one has hay fever?
No one has hay fever. No one's sneezing. My family in Iowa, they have a farm in Iowa, and I've been up there with hay, when you bale hay, and you're just totally ripped up if you're not prepped for it. And I was never ready for it because I was a kid from Florida. So yeah, none of these characters ever get scratched.
My favorite bit, maybe my favorite, definitely favorite bit from this movie is the explanation for the hay. They're clearly not all barns have hay, so this guy wants horses and he just doesn't buy them because he's lazy.
And also, too, one thing I love about this final fight is Chris, our hero in this fight. She takes one of the bales of hay and just hosses it over the opening of that you have to climb up a ladder to get through to get to the area where she is. But she just throws this big bale of hay down on top of it. And during the commentary on the disc that I think we both got the Scream Factory box set, or at least I have that. And the guy who's playing Jason was like, "You didn't do that. That's fake hay." And the producer immediately jumped in and was like, "No, man. Dana Kimmel, the actress, actually beast-moded that bale of hay." But I remember watching that and I was like, Chris is a monster. David, Chris in this movie, Chris Higgins is an absolute beast. And if you've been listening to Movies, Films, and Flicks for some time, you know that David and I, we spent a lot of time analyzing every single Friday the 13th film to figure out which Friday the 13th film was the most Friday the 13th-esque. And that turned out to be Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Listen, I just want to say something real quick. I love the Scream movies because it's Scream 2, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, Scream 5. But then when you get in these Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, geez Louise. So we analyze everything. But during this rewatch, you got the earlier films, correct, David? And I got the later films?
Yeah, I did all the earlier ones, yeah.
And so I didn't watch Friday the 13th Part 3. It wasn't until I got assigned by Fandom last year to analyze for Halloween Kills, to go through all the Halloween movies, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and all the Friday the 13th films to analyze all the kills, all the escapes, just anything about these killers that's unique. And so I was going through the franchises again. And I watched, Friday the 13th is my favorite. It is now. But I watched the first one, Friday the 13th. And I watched as Alice just straight up battles Pamela Voorhees. She knocks Pam with a fire poker. She levels Pam. She knocks Pam out again. And eventually she decapitates Pam. Alice makes it to boss level. And then you go to Friday the 13th Part 2. Adam Clement, guest of the MFF, that's his favorite Friday the 13th. But in that one, Ginny, she escapes, runs through a car. Then she runs into the woods. Then she tricks Jason into thinking that she is Pamela, his mother. And then she hits him. So Ginny, absolute beast, uses mind games to trick Jason Voorhees. But then, David, and this is a long story, Dave, but then we get to Friday the 13th Part 3. And I watch Chris Higgins, a.k.a. Beastmode, just battle what we're going to talk about. Battle Jason Voorhees. And just the way that she drops a bookcase on him. She stabs his arm. She stabs him in the leg. She breaks a window and escapes. She hits him with a log. She gets in a van, drives away. It's not her fault that there's no gas in it. She actually figures it out, but then the bridge breaks. Then she rolls up a window to tie up his hands. Then she runs away. Then she knocks him down. Then she hits him with a shovel. Then she hangs him. Then she kills him with a axe to the face. Like, Chris, I was cheering, David. I was sitting there going, Chris is a monster. Like, what did you feel when you rewatched the franchise and saw this film and the progression of the final heroes?
Crazy analogy, just a really wild analogy for you. I was watching this and I was like, she's really George Washingtoning this. And let me explain what I mean by that, because I know that is an absurd state. So George Washington was very strategic on when he attacked the British. And basically he just had him like chasing him around, and every now and then he would attack. And this is her. This is Chris. She's like strategic. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit and then I'm going to hit you when you're not paying attention. She was doing the exact same thing to Jason as what Jason typically does to other people.
Yeah, she became the alpha in this situation. I mean, she chased him with a knife. She hit him with the log. She tied his hands up in a in the van window. I'm just so excited right now. I'm all over the place because I've been dying to talk about this, David. But
what's great is that she goes on the offense immediately, right? It's like, up the stairs, have some books. You're like, take these books. And that's what I really like about her, because she's not so like, in the first movie, Ginny fights back, but her optimal survival method is running, right? She doesn't really fight back until she absolutely has to.
Mm-hmm.
And here, I'll hit you, and then I'm going to disappear, and then I'm going to hit you, and then I'm going to disappear.
Yeah, she works that kind of guerrilla warfare type thing.
That's a great way to put it.
Because listen, Jason in this one is a physical specimen. I mean, he really is. I mean, just a big guy in this film. So she can't meet him head to head. I mean, this is like Richard Brooker, the guy who plays Jason in this, is just a big, tall dude. And I mean, he takes a large man and like tosses him through a window, like Rick. He crushes Rick's skull and throws a 210-pound man like he's nothing. So Chris is not going to win this in a straight up battle. You know what I like too about her is that she doesn't just, it's not like there's a scene where she channels like her super inner strength and then becomes this like huntress. She just is just aware of her surroundings, is very smart. She's dealt with him before. She knows about this guy, and she's just tough. And I kind of dig that about her, because she's screaming the whole time, David. But that's what I love about, like, I would be screaming the whole time. Like, I was watching her, and I just thought about how refreshing it was that she would scream, drop a bookshelf on him, scream, stab him, scream, fall out of a window. But she just was like the ultimate survivor. She just wouldn't stop. And it's such a... I never thought about the Friday the 13th franchise before, at least just the first three films, as featuring just final heroes who... Like, I mean, listen... I know that Ginny definitely runs away from Pam, but she lets Pamela have it. I mean, Alice could have killed Pam. Alice, not Ginny. Alice could have had Pam dead to rights with that fire poker. But I mean, who thinks about that? Like, no one thinks about that. But what I like too is, as Alice would knock out Pam, run away, Alice would knock out Pam, run away, then Ginny would run away, and then eventually she figured it out. Chris, when she has Jason on the rope, she hangs him. Like, she does what everybody in a horror movie says that you should do. So she knocks him out with a shovel, hangs him. Everybody in the theater is always like, hang him, kill him, do it, don't do that. Like, Dewey, don't do this. You know, Scream 5, like, don't do any of this, don't do that. She hangs the dude, and then he comes back. So she's doing everything she can. And then Jason is just a steam engine in this. Yeah. So it's...
Do you know, I'm glad you brought this up, but do you know the point at which Jason screwed up in this film?
Wait, what Jason?
I can tell you.
What?
Jason screwed up. When Jason could have cleared out everyone. He could have ended the film with a 100% body count. The moment he screwed up, threw Rick's body through the window.
Yeah.
Because until that point, she didn't know where he was. And as soon as she found out where he was, it was game over.
Yeah. That was an interesting move by Jason, because when you think of Jason in the first couple films, and in this film, I mean, he really relies on stealth. But you know what's interesting? He throws the body through the window. She goes upstairs, and then she finds the body in the closet. So it's like, was Jason playing a game? Because remember in the second one, what he does to... in the first one, Alice lives, but then the second one, Alice comes back, and he sets a trap in a refrigerator with a cat and a decapitated head. And Just a whole bunch of silliness. So was he trying to set a trap on Chris by having her go upstairs and find every single dead body imaginable? Was he playing mind games and it messed up on him? What happened here?
So I generally think of Jason as being at least in the earlier ones, as being a stealth killer. You can't have bodies hanging around because if you run into them, they're going to run away. They're going to call the police. So he just hides the bodies as best as he can. I think he threw the body through the window because he recognized her previously and was tormenting her.
Yeah, because of their run-in when she was younger.
Yeah, just a few years previously to the film starting. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he messed up. Jason got cocky. I think, and listen, if you're Jason Voorhees, I feel like it's a moment when you can get cocky, but I don't think he ever anticipated the industriousness of Chris in this scene.
No, not at all.
Like she's she's the rare person who smashes the window and then crawls out. But instead of jumping, she goes as far out of the window as she can before falling on the ground. Does that make sense? Like she does that, and then she grabs a knife when she drops the bookshelf on him. And listen, Game of Thrones hardcover hits you, Infinite Jest hardcover hits you. You're going out, David. Like you're unconscious,
you're done.
My friend.
Yeah.
And so she's upstairs. She pulls a knife from a dead person's back, and then uses that on Jason. Like that's. Could you do that? Would you do that?
I mean, do I have the capacity to stab Jason Voorhees? I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know, but I hope so.
But like, I feel like, you know what makes this good too is I feel like you're in this scene. You're never okay. In the beginning, I think Chris is kind of yelling. She's like, "Where are you, Rick? What are you doing?" She's kind of freaking out a little bit, which I would too. So I'm not blaming her at all. But she like runs out of the house. She yells where Rick is. Rick, help me. Then eventually, though, she runs upstairs. There's nowhere else for her to go. And then she stabs Jason with a knife. And you're like, yeah! And then she stabs him in the knee. That's not a death blow. She has to run away at this point. So then she dives out a window. And you're like, yeah, Chris. And then she goes to the car. Doesn't fumble with keys. There's no
Has
fumbling.
It in her pocket.
Yeah, in her pocket. She starts the car. But there's no gas. But that's not her fault because the bikers took the gas. And then she goes to start the car. She figures it out. But then the tires get stuck. So she's not really doing anything too stupid here. So during this entire fight, you're not going, Chris, don't do that. Don't do this, Chris, dude, don't do that. You're going, dang, this is pretty awesome. And so when I was recording all the escapes in this movie, there's about 8 of them, which is the most ever in a Jason movie. And we had to talk about it for Friday the 13th.
So there's 2 moments that I questioned her judgment.
Uh-oh.
So one, when she jumps out the window and she sneaks back in to watch him to see where he goes. He goes.
Yeah.
And the initial thinking is, well, she's going to go the opposite direction. And I was like, that's smart. But then she sneak attacks him, hits him with a log. It doesn't keep hitting him. And then runs to the van. She could have just run to the van immediately. And the second one is less of an omission, less of I think a screw up, is when she body slams him from the top rope of of the barn when she jumps on him. I think she could have had a weapon, right? Like that would have really, really ended him there.
No, you're absolutely right. And I still don't know why she goes back and grabs the log. But the fact that she's successful in doing it, I think gets the pass, if that makes sense. Because she just wants it. Yeah. Is it unnecessary? 100%. But does she land a cheap shot on Jason? You know what's funny? He's such a bully that she bullies him in this moment. I bet you $1 million that Jason didn't think that she was there. He was so confident, and then he gets whomped on the head with a piece of wood. And that makes me so happy. But yeah, she definitely could have run away. And you know what's tough though? Let's say she does keep trying to bonk him on the head with the piece of wood. That didn't really knock him out. So he just would have grabbed her. So it's all unnecessary. Him down. It's all unnecessary, but at least she whomped him in the back of the head with a large hunk of wood. And that makes me very happy. It's oh gosh, I love it so much. And you know what's crazy? I was doing some research on this because I was looking at the stunts. I was like, there's some pretty cool rigging here. There's some pretty cool stunt coordination. And it led me to John Sherrod, who was Eddie Murphy's stunt double in 48 Hours, which is pretty awesome.
Oh,
but
that's pretty cool.
He actually worked Friday the 13th Part 3, and then he did Final Chapter, and then he did New Beginning. And so this is a guy who also worked on Die Hard. He had a huge stunt career. and he worked on Commando, which makes me really, really happy. And so this is a guy who had Red Heat. He did Coming to America. He was the stunt coordinator in LA for Coming to America. He did Die Hard, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. He did stunts. He did Tremors, which makes me very happy. Child's Play 2. But recently, when people have been talking about better work for crew and better, like with Rust that happened and what happened here in Georgia, I learned that John Sherrod was driving home one night after a long night at work, and he was really tired, and he got into a head-on collision. And this was a stunt driver who passed away. So his name has been brought up lately because of the long work hours on film sets. So I fell down this wormhole of the stunt coordinator, John Sherrod, of this film. And I learned some pretty cool stuff. This guy's worked on some amazing movies. But I love all the falls in here too. And like you said, Chris, okay, then this leads me to talking about Chris falling from the pole onto Jason. It just makes me happy that she had no plan. She's on this pole and she's just like, you know what? I'm going to land on him. I mean, that's once again, you and I have watched all these movies multiple times. I never, once again, in a million years would have thought that Chris would just dive bomb on top of Jason and be successful.
Well, we probably came to these movies later on when we're used to like zombie Jason. So going back to watching these earlier films, like he's a little bit more vulnerable. People are less scared of him.
Yeah, that's true. It's nice though, right? It's fun seeing a
vulnerable.
Nice.
It really is,
Jason. Yeah. But I remember watching this movie and becoming reacquainted with it. And then I remember going, is Chris gonna land on Jason? Is she gonna drop onto him and smush him? I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then she hides behind a bale of hay and whacks him with a shovel and hangs him. Like, if anybody was in my house at that moment, I would have picked him up and ran around the house with them. And then I know she does get an assist. I know Ali comes back to life and he gets wiped out so fast. But then she just axes him through the head. And then she looks like she's suffering from legit PTSD at the end. Like she's not. Yeah, and then at the end she's with her family.
She is.
Yeah.
Like what makes this movie good, and I don't think this final fight really good, better than a lot of the other ones, is that Jason and Chris have a history together, and this is sort of a revenge flick.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get too far into it, but like the coding of this movie is Jason assaulted her and this is her getting her revenge on him. And so there's this history of like, oh, she could fight back and she's actually going to get him.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Because they never say what happened. They just say that she blacked out and then escaped from him. And then a hermit found her.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that my reading of this is...
Or the local doomsayer.
I think a lot of people wouldn't agree with my interpretation of this film, but I think it's pretty explicit. And I know for a fact that the original ending had Jason assaulting Chris.
Yeah, chopping her head off.
Yeah, well, it's not in the final product, and like I'm a believer of what's in the movie's in the movie. But even like discounting knowledge of the previous script, I think it's pretty obvious that Jason assaulted her, like across the board. And I also know that there's a lot of Friday the 13th fans who will not agree with me on that and want Jason to be sort of this more pure creature to kill teens, I guess.
Yeah, that's... So I've never heard about your interpretation. I just I guess I always just took it as she like blacked out and escaped and she didn't remember it. She just sort of found some feral power. But at the end, the original ending was she thinks she sees somebody and then she goes inside and then Jason just chops her head off. And they filmed it.
Whoa. I wish I could see that.
Yeah, so on the commentary, they talked about it and they said that they filmed it. The actress who played Chris wasn't there. It was just a double. So the double walks in the house and just gets a head whacked off by. So Dana wasn't there, but the Richard Brooker was talking about how he just whacks her head off. So he tricks her. So after all that work she does, she goes back in the house and gets decapitated.
Here's a funny thing about this movie. I guess it relates to the final fight, Mark. At the end, the police come and get her, and then it just lingers on Jason, and I'm like, did they just leave with her and leave Jason there? They leave the body there?
Yeah.
We're done. We're done with this.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this guy anymore. Just leave him here. He'll come back.
Yeah. But and so some other things I want to talk about this fight. Like books, right? Initial attack. Throw the books on Jason. this movie makes a really good argument for physical media. Lots of physical media. Get yourself some heavy books. Get yourself some steelbook DVDs and Blu-rays. Keep them lined in your apartment because you never know when you need to dump something onto a serial killer.
Oh man, just wall to wall, and then trap them in steel books.
Yep. Imagine Jason in a library. Oh no! Just books falling everywhere.
Oh gosh, and you just drop the thing on him.
Yep.
Oh, he would hate Rachel Weisz from The Mummy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's his arch nemesis is Rachel Weisz.
He could never kill her.
Evie, right?
Yeah, he could never get her. She would always fumble away somehow from him. No, but listen, I just I love that. And any other observations? I do love the practical media thing because I mean I have a ton of DVDs right now next to me, so I know I'm safe.
Yeah. Other things like I'm honestly I really want to talk about the music at the beginning, and I know it's not part of the final fight, but I'm gonna say that movie hyped me up for that music hyped me up for the rest of the film.
Oh.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, it's funny. I was listening to the score, and I immediately just thought I need to go look at who did this score. So what? Harry Manfredini did it, and I was like, I got because he did the original Friday the 13th, and then he worked a lot with Steve Miner. He also did House as well. So I remember listening to this. I'm like, I got to read about this. I gotta hear about this music because it's quite bonkers. Is it right? It's
it's bonkers. I mean, I absolutely love it. It sets everything up really well. And I guess that's so I have a game I want to play with you real quick. And I wanted to do the top 3 final heroes for the Friday the 13th movies. And we can better define that, right? Like maybe the most intimidating of the how many of the movies are these at this point? 9, 10, 11? 11. I guess there's Jason 10 and then there's the reboot. Like our top 3.
Okay.
Chris is clearly in the top 3, right?
Chris is number 1. Steven is number 2. Steven from Jason Goes to Hell.
Okay.
Because Steven spears Jason through a glass window, and he does that cool hop when he's handcuffed, and he tries to fight Jason and all the ear slug people as much as possible. And they have to live, right? Are we talking about people who live?
Yeah, they have to live.
Yeah, so I would say definitely Steven, because he's just, what's crazy? He wears that Letterman jacket, but you don't think he's going to be this super tough guy. But then he becomes this super duper tough guy. So I'm going to go with that. And, oh man, you got, no one from Takes Manhattan.
No, that.
Wait, can we
if you love that movie, like, I'm not going to hate on you, but I really dislike it.
Oh, bro, Tina.
Yeah, Tina's my number. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, it's Tina, right?
Oh yeah, it's got to be Tina. I mean, and also too, like, Tommy is pretty. I mean, Tommy ties Jason to a chain and traps him to the bottom of a lake, but Tina has telekinesis and she just schlacks Jason. So I'm going Chris, Tina. Sorry, Tommy, I'm not going to pick you, and then I'm going to go to Steven.
Nice. I think that's a really solid list. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really happy about this list.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then I guess I had one more question. This is more oddball-y, and it does relate to the final fight. What was Jason thinking when he jumped out in front of the car? Like, did he not realize that she would try to hit him? Like he was being a dum-dum.
I think that's a good subversion of. Sometimes I don't like that word, but in a lot of movies, someone driving a car sees somebody and they try to swerve at the killer and they get into an accident, or they freak out and they drive the other way and hit a tree. But in this one, Chris was like, I'm going to try to hit him, but I'm not going to risk the van. So she takes a swerve at him and then she keeps going. But Jason, I don't think was expecting that. I think he was like, I think he went to the Leslie Vernon school and figured that she would either take a swipe at him and crash or swerve the other way and crash. He never expected she would take a tiny drive at him. So I think that's Jason remembering horror tropes and failing because Chris is a beast.
Yeah, that's kind of what makes this movie awesome. I think there's a lot of subversion of the first 2 horror movies. So the first one would be Jason or Friday the 13th 2, but also like understanding that the audience have seen Halloween, and I probably seen Halloween 2 at this point. I can't remember the dates of those, but it seems like they were purposely trying to make Chris out to be the super smart person.
Yeah, like she's not fumbling. She's not. Yeah, she does run upstairs. Where else is she gonna go? It's it's just so refreshing. It really is. And I'm telling you, okay, so after going through all of the Halloween movies with Laurie Strode, and yeah, she finds her inner strength, but then, she never quite fights back. She's always running in absolute fear, which makes complete sense. I'm not dogging on that. But after going through the Halloween franchise and like watching Halloween Resurrection and then going through Nightmare on Elm Street, where everyone is like, there are some great final people in there, but they all get killed off. It was great to see just 3 capable women on their own defeating the villains. I know that I was talking to Adam Clement, and he said this is more of like the blue collar horror franchise, where maybe people consider Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween to be more highbrow, and this is kind of the blue collar, grimy, cheaper films. But in these 3 films, man, they got some pretty cool final heroes in these first 3 movies. And then throw in, who did we just say? Throw in Tina, throw in a few other cool heroes, and you have some pretty beast mode final heroes in this movie. So I think it gets a bad rap, but I mean, listen, there's a lot of gratuity in these movies. I'm not lying about that, or I'm not suggesting there's not, and I'm not suggesting this is a classy franchise by any means. But I just think I love watching Alice, Ginny, and Chris work their magic, because it always hits me as so refreshing. I'm telling you, David, like, watch it. I know Alice runs away from Pam at every moment, but she keeps drilling Pam and knocking her out. There's a beauty to that. And so watching Chris be the kind of Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, and Jason being Harry and Marv in this, just makes me really happy. And so I know it's off point, but I think I wish these characters got more credit. So everyone talks about Sydney, everyone talks about Laurie Strode, but I mean, I don't think any of them did what Chris did in their first film.
Yeah. Maybe when we eventually get that legacy sequel, we'll get one of the originals back. Maybe we'll get Chris back. I don't know.
Yeah, she will come back and just get killed.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's every legacy sequel.
Like, I get it. That's why I get it. It's a trope, but I don't know. Well, I just want to. Yeah. Anything else you want to cover? What was your favorite moment? Okay, watching this scene, when did you realize that this was something special, that Chris was a beast?
Interesting. I think it was right off the bat when she knocked the bookcase over, because she went from flight to attack immediately.
Yeah.
And then after that, she closed all the doors in the hallway, so Jason didn't know which one to go into. Like, she was firing on all cylinders immediately, off the bat. That, again, maybe it is the doors. Maybe it's the doors, actually, when I realized, like, oh, she's smart. Like, she's going to get out of this.
That's a great point. And then she slashes at him, and then she gets him in the knee, then she dives out. But I think for me, I was really impressed with all of that. But when she rolls up the window to trap his arms, I just thought, if I had a football team, I would put Chris on it, because her kind of game time decisions or her thinking on the fly is outstanding. I mean, when have you ever seen a horror villain's arms being trapped in a window after being rolled up? Like, it's just like, she's driving that van out of there. So I think it's when she trapped his arms in the window, because I just remember thinking, I have never seen that before. I have never seen somebody and it wasn't her fault that the car didn't start either. So yeah, I'm going to say the window bit, because I was already impressed. Like, so I was on the roller coaster and I was about to go down, like, not down, but like, that's a terrible analogy. I was on board, but when she rolled up that window, I was really on board. I was sold. I was just absolutely sold, because, man, like, you could teach a class about Chris's fighting a horror. If there's a horror villain world and Chris actually existed, she would have so many thesis papers written about her survival of Jason Voorhees. So yeah, I think it's the window bit that makes me so happy.
So Mark, you can cut this if you want, but I'm going to bring this up because I think it'd be a funny conversation, maybe just for you and I. Vin Diesel as Jason.
Nah, they would make him he wouldn't wear the mask.
Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, that's the problem.
And they would make him too sympathetic.
Yeah, what they tried to do with Freddy, right?
Oh gosh, what stupid. Yeah, don't do that. Like, just okay, Vin Diesel I think Vin Diesel would be best as what horror movie villain would Vin Diesel be best as?
Well, you can knock off what he wouldn't be good at. So we're saying he's not going to be a Jason. He's not. That means he's probably not going to be good at Michael.
No,
Definitely not charismatic enough to be Freddy.
no.
Pinhead.
Pinhead.
Pinhead. I don't know. I bet it's like a lesser one, like
The Babadook.
the Wishmaster.
Oh, I mean, he loves remaking stuff.
Yeah, and he's Vin Diesel as the Babadook. I just got that. Oh my
Wait,
God.
Vin Diesel as an evil genie? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because
Yeah.
he would be charismatic, but he would also be a killer.
Yeah, I mean that's about the level I want from him.
Wow, that's perfect. That's
You're
beautiful.
welcome. I'm glad I brought this into the world.
Oh, hey, well, hey, do you want to promote Award Wieners before we get out of here?
Yeah, I am the co-host of the Award Wieners Movie Podcast. My co-host and I watch a Best Picture winner. We critique it, talk about the history, and then we pair it with a hot dog recipe that we came up with. We're going through, again, all the best pictures, and you can just find that on anywhere you get your podcasts. So that's Apple, Spotify, all that stuff.
Yeah, I love it. And also check out his Instagram. You back
Yeah,
on the
thank
meme?
you. Yeah.
You gonna be back on the memes? You gonna be back on the review soon, or?
I'm going to be doing some more memes. I'm taking a little bit of a break from the movies. And here's the thing. The Oscar season stretched for 6 months, and I was like, I need a break. Like, I can't handle how long the Oscar season lasted. And then the fallout from it really depressed me for movies. I was just like, I'm done. All that being said, something that breathed life into me, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's the best movie I've seen in probably 5 years. It's just amazing. And I watched it, and I went back and watched it again in the theater, and I was saying to myself, this is why I watch movies.
It's great. It's great having those reaffirming experiences, isn't it?
It is. They're so rare. They're so very rare. I had it with Parasite. I had it with this movie. It's just extremely rare when you get like an amazing film that makes you cheer.
Oh, you had it with Friday the 13th Part 3?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I watched it just again for like the 100th time.
Oh, I love it. Well, hey man, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to covering Brotherhood of the Wolf with you soon. So that'll be our next episode, and then we're gonna do Alligator.
Yeah, and if you have any other, this is for your audience. If there's any Jaws ripoffs you want us to cover, you let us know.
Ooh, I should put that out there.
Yeah, because it's Jaws, Grizzly Bear, and then I'm like, I don't know. I really don't.
It's wide open. Deep Star 6 we haven't done yet.
Wow, we could do a whole mini series on just Jaws ripoffs.
Oh, dude, that breathes life into the next year of my podcasting. So I look forward to that. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, David.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for David Cross, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you.